ladies and gentlemen, God's Woodsman here for you today. And as you can tell, I am not in my typical black timbered pine forest up, high mountains. I am in the tropics. I'm on an island in the tropics. And I was figuring, what would be a good video I could show you while I'm here? And I came out to the coastline and I said, what if I show what would happen if you were shipwrecked, some reason you're on here and you need to at least spend the night out here. And during this, you have a couple of tools. I'm gonna pick a couple just because I'm the one making the video, so I can choose what you're gonna have. You're gonna have a machete, and you're gonna have some means of making a fire. You're either gonna have matches, a lighter, some way of making a fire. What I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use my striker that I normally use in the mountains. So the first thing that I would do in this situation is I would make a fire, because right now the sun is just barely up and it's not too hot right now and there's not a lot of bugs yet. But within the next few hours there's going to be bugs. Or if this was late in the evening, most of the time a fire is something you need quickly. And if you can make one now, you're going to be able to make it through a night and you're going to have means to be able to cook fish and all the other things you can do with fire. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a fire. Thankfully there's no lack of materials to do anything and everything here, because this is a shore that is constantly bombarded by the ocean. There's everything. Old mustard container, old liquor bottles, and practically thousands of old flip-flops. I'm not really sure about that, but more flip-flops. Just all kinds of stuff. One of the handy things you find all over the place out here is rope. Lots and lots of rope, which will make it really easy when we're going to make a shelter. And what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to make a raised platform with some cover overhead so it won't get too hot during the day, with a fire out in front. Very similar to what I would make in the mountains, except for this one I'm not worried about making it, super shielded. It's mostly just for the shade. But first thing, let's get a fire going. You can see a palm tree up behind me, and at the base of that palm tree is all of this broken bits from the palm fronds. That is perfect for lighting a fire. So first, let's go get some of that. So this right here is what I'm going to go for, and this is just broken up palm fronds. Depending on what part of the world you're in, there's a possibility this could have scorpions in it, so kind of be careful when you're taking it up. This one's still got some little critters in it that I really don't want on me, so I'm going to be a little bit careful. And that's plenty. It doesn't take a whole lot, because this stuff will light up very, very easily, and you can just see how stringy it is. Of course, that would light with a spark, or matches, or a lighter. Just get a good amount of that, and let's go down to the beach. The other thing you can do when you're looking for tinder out here is just take a palm frond like this and just pull off the leaves. It'll work really good for some tinder. Now, when we get to this point, you just basically pull this stuff apart as thin as you can, small pieces as you can, and do it to a whole bunch of it. Don't do it to just a tiny bit of it. Pull it apart and just make it as stringy as possible. And even if it's raining, a lot of times you can actually get this. This is still available even if it's raining, so don't give up just because it's raining. You can also use the husk of a coconut. For this particular video, I figured I'd use palm frond. So once you have a good pile of it like that, I know, wouldn't that be great if you had that when you're in the mountains? Looks like you just stand back and it lights. And then you need the machete, backside of the machete and your striker. Oh, so I thought the wind was going to get it and blow it out. Same way we do it, Same way you do it in the tropics, same way you do it in the mountains. And once you get to this point, I'm just going to add a bunch of palm frond. Not all at once, because it is a little bit damp. This is the tropics after all. Just add a little bit of that. Because there's this nice breeze, I don't have to worry about blowing on it. And that great smoke that it's producing will keep the bugs off me. If there was predators on the island, it would keep the predators away, and it's also signaling for help. And then I'm just going to take apart this smaller stuff piece by piece and add it onto the fire. And as soon as I get to the fire to a point where it's going to keep itself burning on its own, I'll continue with making the shelter. Termites. Just a little bit more wood, and I don't think I'm going to have to worry too much about this going out for a little while. And that's what I want. Just going enough that I don't have to worry about it going out while I'm working. And that's kind of how most of the time stuff burns here. Not just tons of flames. It's still a good hot fire. It's just everything's just a little bit damp here. And a lot of what I'm putting on here, well, maybe not a lot of it, some of it is bamboo that has drifted up, which will be my main building material in just a minute. Alright. Now that we got that fire going the way we want it, I'm going to move the camera back so you can actually see like a wide profile of what I'm doing. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to do is once I get to this point, I'm going to look around and see what I've got. There's plenty of rope on the island, though it's not that hard out here to make some rope for yourself. I've got my machete. There's a lot of long pieces of material here that would work really good for the shelter, all these nice long pieces of bamboo that are straight. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look and figure out how I want to make my platform. All this stuff that's easy to break I'm going to set aside for my firewood. The bigger pieces of bamboo were all going to be the main body of my, the main body of my platform. Like as you can tell, there's some nice big pieces on here. I mean, there's even hunks of 4x4 that have drifted up that are completely covered in termites, which I don't want anything to do with that. the nice big long pieces of bamboo I'm going to set aside because they'll work perfect. So first we're just going to get a little bit organized here and figure out what needs to go where. I'm going to keep enough wood going on the fire so it doesn't go out. So just add a couple pieces now and again. Keep it burning. Told you there's a lot of stuff drifts up. Pick up your trash and it won't end up here. And don't lose your flip-flops. Okay, I think if it's me, I want my platform up off the ground enough that most of the creepy crawlies won't be trying to crawl up there and say hi, hello to me. So not too terribly high, but probably a good 16, 18 inches up off the ground. And most likely the easiest way to do that is we'll make some tripods. Well, maybe if I can find some wood that's not completely rotted away. All right, now that we have what materials I have that I've gathered right here, I think I'm going to go up and down the beach a little bit more and gather a little bit more of this drift bamboo. Okay, I gathered some more pieces of bamboo. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take these three and tie them together. And I can assure you, I did not bring this in. This was already here. And at this point, this does not need to be fancy. I'm just thinking that that sun sure is getting high in the sky, and it's going to be getting really warm in just a few minutes. Just going to make it as tight as possible. I'm not even gonna bother too much with the making it look pretty. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh. I was wondering about that. That piece of bamboo was going to make it. Okay, we got that side hooked up pretty good. Yeah, I know, and that piece of bamboo broke. At least now it looks a little bit more realistic, right? If everything went perfectly to plan while I was out here, it looked just a little bit too realistic, right? And one thing you cannot see on camera, but it is hot already. It's not even 7 a.m. yet, and it's already just cooking. Can you imagine what it's going to be at noon? So I've got to get this shade up.
in the tropics, you literally, your life depends on shade. As crazy as that sounds. And then we just need a piece to go from one side to the other. Like so. Adjust this side a little bit. Now we'll just put a couple pieces up on the top. Pointing backwards for the couple of top pieces. Ooh. I'm going to have this as my main floor piece.